everyone, in the previous video we discussed collection framework in which we studied array list, stack and linked list class. So now we are continuing the same topic, and in this we will see the queue interface. Queue interface includes two classes, that is linked list class and the priority queue. So as you can see here that the linked list is present in the queue interface and as well as in the list interface also. So what's the difference between them? So here the queue will be implemented using linked list. We will see when we will implement the linked list, when we will implement the linked list class. In that case we will be implementing the queue using linked list. But here you can say you were implementing the list using linked list. Okay, so that is the basic difference between these two classes. So let's implement queue using linked list. So we will be using two inbuilt functions here, that is offer, poll and peek. As we studied, queue uses two functions, enqueue and dequeue. Enqueue function is used to insert the data in the queue and dequeue function is used to delete the some data from the queue. We already have discussed all of these concepts in the previous videos. If you want to learn any of them, you will get the link to these in description box below. So offer function will be used to enqueue the data, poll function will be used to dequeue the data, and peek function will be used to find out the front element of the queue. So let's implement it on Eclipse. So here I just have created a simple class named queue. So here first I'll enqueue some data in the queue. So for this I'll have to create the object for queue class. Here we will write linked list because we are implementing queue using linked list class now. That's why we will write linked list here. Okay, and we will have to import this as well. Okay, so when you create an object for the linked list class, what this statement will do? This statement will create the queue using linked list in the background. Okay, now if we want to enqueue some data, what we will write? We will write it like this c dot offer. Let's suppose we want to enqueue data 10. So we have enqueued this data, that is 10, 20, 30, 60 and 100. So can you tell me, just pause the video and just think about it. Data is present at front index and which data is present at rear index. Okay? First we inserted 10, right, and then 20, 30, 60 and in the last we inserted 100. So front will be pointing to 10 and rear will be pointing to 100. So now if I want to check for the front element of this queue, how we can check that? We will just print system.out.print c.peek. Let's see what it will print. It should print 10. Control F11. Okay, it has printed 10. Now if we want to print all this data of the queue, so how we can do that? We just have to print the value of Control C, Control V. We just have to print the value of C. It will print all the elements of the queue here, 10, 20, 30, 60 and 100. Now let's suppose you want to dequeue some data. So for that we will use poll function, and you need not to write any index here because poll what it will do, it will always delete the data or dequeue the data from the front only. Okay, so we have written c.poll one time, so one data will be deleted. This particular statement will delete the data from the front, that is 10. So now if we print the value of this queue, what it should print? It should print 20, 30, 60 and 100. Control F11, 20, 30, 60 and 100. If you write it two times, c.poll, what it will do, it will print another item from the front, that is 20. And now if you print the value of C of the or you can say the values of Q, then 30, 60 and 100 should be printed. Let's print it. Control F11, 30, 60 and 100. Okay, so can you imagine, we wrote let me show you. We wrote the program for the queue here, queue using linked list. This program for enqueue, dequeue and display using linked list in case of queue, and now you can see this is possible using these statements only. But please keep it in your mind, all the things are happening in the same way in the background as we studied when we implemented queue using linked list. But at the front end, if you are using collection framework, you need not to create it from the front. You just have to apply the inbuilt functions and you are good to go. Okay, and the complexity, if we talk about the complexity will be the same, okay, as in the case of queue using linked list, queue using arrays. Okay, the complexity will be same. Now let's come to the priority queue. We discussed the concept of priority queue in the previous video, but we did not implemented that because I told you that we will implement it using collection framework. So now let's implement it. So first we will create the object for priority queue. Let's enqueue and dequeue some data in the priority queue. So c dot offer, the same functions will be used. As you can see here, for priority queue, offer and poll, same functions will be used in order to enqueue the data and dequeue the data. So let's suppose we have enqueued this data 40, 89, 30, 200, 400, and now we are printing this data. So what it should print? It should print in the same order, no? 40, 89, 30, 200, 400. Let's see. Control F11. Here you can see 30, 89, 40, 200, 400, and this is not the same order in which we have inserted the data. Why? Then why this is happening? In the queue, when we inserted the data was printed in the same sequence, but in case of priority queue, it's not printed in the same sequence. What is the reason? The reason behind it is that as I mentioned, the priority queue concept also, the use of priority queue is to implement the heap. Okay, so when you are implementing, you are enqueuing some data in priority queue, it is implementing a heap. We are having two type of heap, min heap and max heap, and priority queue implements min heap. So right now you just have to remember that when you implement priority queue using collection framework, it implements min heap, and that's why it's not printing the items in the same sequence as we inserted. It would be something like this. The parent node contains a smaller value in comparison to its children. Okay, we will see this in the coming videos. I'm not going to explain this concept, but here you just have to remember that this priority queue is implementing a min heap here. And if you want to delete some data from this priority queue, you just have to poll this. And now if you print this, let's see what will happen, what will be deleted. Here you can see 30, 89, 40, 200, 400 was printed, and now 30 has been deleted because this was the minimum element of the queue, and the rest of the elements has been printed here. 40 is the parent of this heap, that's why 40 is at the front of this queue. One more thing, as I mentioned that this priority queue will implement minimum heap by default. If you want to create max heap, then in that case what you will have to do, you will have to use comparator here, comparator dot reverse order. Okay, now it will implement max heap. If we print this, Control F11, now you can see the maximum element is at the top. Okay, or you can say is at the front of the queue. In the same way, when you deleted the data, now 200 is at the front of this queue. Okay, in this way you can create the minimum heap and max heap using priority queue. Okay, so here we have studied list interface and queue interface. Now we are starting set interface, in which we have to study hash set, linked hash set, and tree set. So what is set interface? Set interface is you can say again is a collection of data, but it will store the data in a hash table, and hash table contains the hash of the values, and hash cannot be same of two values. That means set interface does not allow duplicate values. That is the beauty of set interface. While when we studied array list, or you can say list interface and the queue interface, though they allow duplicate items, but set interface does not allow duplicate items, just because it is storing the data in the hash table, and hash table contains the hash of the items, and hash of the items means two hash values cannot be same. Okay, that you have to remember. So you can and one more thing, it is an unordered set of items. Unordered set of items we will see when we will see the example of it. What is an ordered set of items, and it does not allow duplicate. So first let's talk about hash set. So first we will create the object for hash set class. We will be using these functions in order to add the data or in order to remove the data, that is add, remove, contain, size and clear. These functions will work same as we studied in case of array list, but we will see some of the functions of array list will not work here. We'll see what are those functions. So first let's add the data in the hash set. So how we can do that? We will just use the add function here, and now if we print this, see what will happen. If it is the case of array list, it should print 10, 50, 100 and 60, but now we are using hash set. So let's see what it will print. 50, 100, 10, 60 means this is not printing the data, displaying the data in the same order as we inserted it. Okay, that is known as the unordered collection of data. It is not, you know, ordered collection of data. So that is the main difference between array list and hash set. Now let's suppose you want to delete the data from the hash set. Okay, so how can you do that? We will just use the remove function and we'll write the number or the element that you want to delete. So let's suppose I want to delete 50. So what it should now print? 10, 100 and 60, and it can be in any format, in any order. So 10, 100, 10, 60 is here. If we write clear function, c.clear, it will delete all the items of the hash set. Control F11, so it is showing blank. Now if you want to check for size and contains function, you can use that. If you want to, you know, c dot size, it will return the total number of elements available in hash set. Assign this in a variable and print that value d. Control F11, 4 items are here. And if you want to check the availability of a particular element, how can you do that? We will use contains function, c dot. Many of the functions are available in each of the class, but I just have, you know, discuss only important functions that you generally use in your programming. Okay, if you want to explore more functions, you definitely can do that. Let's suppose I want to check the availability of 70. So Control F11, it should return false. It has returned false. Okay, now we studied one more function, get and set function, in case of array list. Can you apply those functions here? Obviously not, because it's an unordered collection. When we, you know, see, let's see here, array list, we were using get to, we were, you know, extracting the data available at second index. But now you cannot use it here, hash set, because it's an unordered collection. Any data can be available at second index, so it would be an unexpected result. That's why you cannot use it here. Okay, so this is all about hash set class. Now let's move to the next class, that is linked hash set. Everything is same as we discussed in hash set class, but the difference will be this hash set will be you know, implemented using linked list. So linked hash set will maintain the property of hash set as well as linked list. So when you will print the data of linked hash set, it will, you know, display the data in the same sequence as you inserted the data. Let's see how. Linked hash set, we will have to import this. Okay, so now let's print this. What it will print? C. Let's print C. Control F11. 10, 50, 100 and 60. Now it is, you know, displaying the data in the same sequence as we inserted it. So that is the difference between linked hash set and hash set, because you know, linked hash set is maintaining the property of linked list also. It is storing the data in a hash table, but now hash table is implemented using linked list. Okay, that's why it is maintaining the order of the element. But the other property, that the duplicate item does not exist in case of set interface, that will be maintained here. Okay, let's suppose you want to insert c dot get 10 again. Sorry, c dot add. C dot add 10. Okay, let's see what will happen. Control F11. You can see 10 is displaying for one time only, while we have inserted it for 2 times. That is the main difference between list interface and the set interface. It cannot contain duplicate items, and you know, it's an unordered collection. But if you are implementing it linked hash set, it will maintain the property of ordered set, because you are implementing it using linked list. Now if we talk about another class of the set interface, that is tree set. It will apply all the functions as we studied in case of hash set. But one more thing will be added here, one more property will be added here. You can see here, just a second, where is my pen? Linked hash set was ordered collection tha ye. It was ordered collection, and tree set will return you the sorted collection of data, because it will implement BST, that is binary search tree. It's again a data structure that we will study in coming videos. So what actually binary search do, it if you want to if you traverse this binary search tree, it returns you the sorted data, sorted elements. Okay, so let's execute it. Let me make the changes here. Tree set. Okay, so now if I print the value of C, let's see what will happen. Just a second, we will have to import this. Control F11. See, 10, 50, 60, 100. It has it is showing the data in the sorted form, because tree set is maintaining the property of set as well as binary search tree. Okay, so these are the basic differences between three classes of set interface: BST plus you can say set, and it is maintaining the property of linked list plus set. Okay, so now let's talk about map interface. In this we will study two main classes, that is hash map and tree set. So let me tell you how map interface is different from other interfaces. It sounds like Google Map, but it is not that. Map means if you are pairing some data, if you are having some keys and the associated values, okay, and you are mapping those values, so in that case we use map interface. So we will study these two classes of hash map and tree set. So first let's talk about hash map. Hash map, it's a very commonly used class. If you want to if you are having some keys and you are having some associated value to those keys, then we use hash map. Generally hash map will be used, you will see generally hash map will be used in order to solve the problems. So first let's create the object for this. So one thing you have to remember about the generic in this case, before this interface we were using the single value as for generic, but here we will mention two values because we are having keys and the values associated to those keys. So let's suppose we want keys in the form of integer and we want the values in the form of string. Okay, you can have any combination of it, string, integer, string, float, string, anything that totally will depend on your application or the problem that you are solving. So we will be having like this such kind of data, just like we are having key value as 1 and we are having the value for this key as, let's suppose, Nepali. Okay, and another data, maybe the value of the key is 4 and the associated value is for my scholars. Okay, like this means anything could be here, that totally will depend on your application. Okay, example of what in map interface is going to contain, is going to store. Let's insert the values in hash map. So how we can do that? We will use a put function and then we will assign the values. So first we will write the key and then we will write the values. One thing that you have to remember is that key cannot be repeated. You can have duplicate values, but you cannot have duplicate keys. Key should be unique. So let's suppose the key is 1 and the associated value is A. Okay, so let's suppose we are having this data and that we want to store in the hash map. So now let's print this. So as you can see here, the output will be in this format. So now let's talk about other functions of it. Put if absent, as I mentioned that the keys will be unique. You cannot insert two items with the same with the same value of key. Okay, so let's suppose you are c dot put, the key is 3 and the associated value, let's suppose you are putting F. Let's see what will happen here. Control F11. You can see that 3 equals to F means this value has been overwritten with the new value. Okay, because you can have only one value associated with the key. Okay, and the key is 3 and we are having two values for 3, C and F. So what it will contain, what it will show when you print the value, it will show the latest value that you have inserted. Okay, so if you want to put some value associated with a key only in the case when it is not present in the hash map, so what you can do, you can use put if absent function. First it will check that this particular value exists or not, means it will not override the value. Okay, that is the main purpose of using this function. Let's see, Control F11, it is showing C. Okay, because it has not overwritten the value, but let's suppose 7, we do this, Control F11, it has added this value. Okay, so this is the difference between put function and put if absent function. Is empty function will be used in order to check that the hash map contains any value or not. C dot is empty because data is present here, so it will return false. In the same way, if we use remove function will be used in order to delete some data, and then you can delete this or remove this from the hash map with the help of keys only. So if you know the key, then you can delete the data, delete the record from the hash map. So if I want to delete the data for the key value 3, okay, so we will write 3 here, and the data and the record for key 3 will be deleted from this hash map. Now if you want to print the values of all the keys or maybe all the values, then how can you do that? We will have to use the for loop for this. Okay, we are having keys in the form of integers, so we will have to write integer here. So let's print it, Control F11. So we are having 1, 2, 7 and 10. Okay, let's add ln here and just make it comment, Control F11. So we are having the list of all the keys. In the same way, if you want to print all the values, okay, and the we are having values in a string, so we will write string here and let's execute it, Control F11. So we are having A, B, F and Dipali. Okay, so in this way we can print all the keys and all the values, or you can apply any filter here. So these are the basic functions of hash map. Now let's come to the tree map. Tree map will use the same functions as we discussed in case of hash map, but what is the difference between hash map and tree set? Tree set will implement the concept of map plus binary search tree. What binary search do? Binary search print the values in sorted form. So if we apply tree map here, okay, so now it will print the values of this in sorted form according to the key, but right now we are having it in the, we have inserted the data in sorted form only. So let's jumble it and then we will see this. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 7 and 10 means the data has been displayed in the sorted form of keys. Okay, so that is the basic difference between hash map and tree map. Tree map is just implementing the map interface, the concept of map interface, and the binary search tree as well. So this is how you can implement map interface whenever you want to store the data in the form of keys and values. In that case we will use the concept of map interface. Now let's come to the last interface, that is iterator. So list iterator is again an interface and it is having a class that is list iterator. So list iterator basically is used to traverse all the elements of a list, like array list, linked list, vector, stack. So we are having, we can traverse the elements in forward direction as well as in backward direction. So we are having these functions and these two traversing methods. So let's implement it. So this is a program of array list that we implemented in the previous video. So we have just added these 4 elements in the list, and now we will traverse it using list iterator. So first we will write the interface list iterator C is equals to what is the name of the list, what is the reference variable for this list, C. So we will write C dot list iterator. Okay, so please keep it in mind, this list iterator is the class and this list iterator is the interface. We will mention the generic here, integer. Okay, we will have to import this. Now what we want to iterate the data of this array list. So let's first iterate this in forward direction. So what we will write it d dot has next. If this condition is true, means until it is having the next item, it will iterate. So system dot out dot print d dot next means until it is having the next item, it will keep iterating and will keep printing the values. In the same way, if you want to iterate in backward direction, so what we will have to do, we will use another function has previous, and in the same way we will use previous function here in order to iterate the previous value. So let's iterate it in backward direction. So here you can see 60, 100, 50 and 10. It has iterated this array list in backward direction. Okay, so in this way you can use the list iterator class in order to iterate the data. So we have studied all the important classes of collection framework, and if you have any query related to this, you can ask me in comment section. I tried my best to explain the things in a very easiest language, but still if you are having any query, you can ask me.
I hope this video is going to help you a lot. This is a very important topic, as I mentioned, from the perspective of your placement. So if you have any query related to any topic, you can ask in comment section. I definitely will try to answer your questions. Okay, so thank you, good luck.